Oh, yeah. When I was 4 years of age, I've covered this in the past. There's what you experience, there's what I experience. You're free, I'm free. Your journey, my journey. I'm an individuated unit of consciousness with a soul and a spirit that is free. And I'm a free spirit because I'm a musician. I'm an artist. And what allows me to be free as a free spirit is that my spirit is on fire because I experience eternal absolute love in a present moment. That means there isn't any time. That's pure energy, which is timeless space, which is what? Priceless. You know why it's priceless? Because it's timeless. It means there isn't any time. There's only what love is. So when you know that at 4 years of age, right? Please do not insult the first sphere, the eternal sphere of eternal fire, which is eternal absolute love, because that's who I serve. I serve on behalf of the first sphere, which is first love, which is eternal love, which is eternal absolute love that's on fire to gift love away. So therefore, what I create out of what I am, which is what love is, that's an image I see in the mirror. So everything that's in my mirror is what I'm giving love to. That's what maintains your mirror. That's what maintains your light. That's what heals the shadow body. It's being on fire. That's what purifies our light. It burns up that shadow. That's what heals us. That's what purifies us, right? And so I had put a couple of pages of names that was being shared by another lady called Divine Angel about the different race line affiliations that are related to these names, that are related to channels, that are related to metatronic spirals. Yeah, and the reason that I put that up there is simply to share with others what I become aware of, okay? And that's how it was in childhood. Hey, you're aware, so am I. You communicate with me. Hey, we're speaking the same language because we programmed the language of English into our RAM, read active memory. Okay, so now we're communicating in language, the language codes. So I already explained how the English language and compression of energy and expansion of energy, you can't compress eternity. So when you think of how fast you've learned and everything you're associated with that you're experiencing, wherever you find love and living spirit, you'll find us. Imagine how much energy that is. So how long would it take me to do an energy transfer of all the codes that are represented by everything that is out there that's experiencing itself simultaneously? How could I possibly transfer all that energy into your mind, uncoil that, sound buffer it, and experience it at once? You couldn't. Experiencing eternity is experiencing being home every time we take a breath, which is a breath of eternity, which is a breath of pure, eternal, absolute love that's on fire to create a different experience. So every experience or every time that magnet open and closes, being non-polarized consciousness is opening and closing at such a high rate of speed, because when you're non-polarized, the two to become one, the one becomes the all creation. That's monopole. I'm on it. The one, the first star. So you're always experiencing being with the one, the first one. So you know what's going on, because the one is the ultimate informer, which is eternal truth, which is eternal love. So the one is always letting us know what's going on through the light, because eternal light will expose anything that is what? Lying. Not telling the truth, fear, right? What was that saying last night? She talked about fear was the absence of fear appearing real. No, something like that. Something appearing as a false. How is that put down there? Appearing real, but it's false. The way that I did, for me, it was simple as a child. It's actually a measurement of accretion levels of energy, or the spiral that they're running, or if you will, what they're held captive to. Which means I'm not experiencing by map reading that software. I'm not experiencing what I'm supposed to experience, which means I'm supposed to experience what love is that goes on forever, because that's what I experience in me. But I'm experiencing by getting a signal of something that isn't experiencing what I am. I'm experiencing what they're experiencing, which isn't what love is. That means you know the difference in the torque speed between something that is and isn't the one. Now you know one from the other. So that's an immediate identification of what is and isn't real. Because love is real. Love is what's real. So when you're in an eternal moment of what's real, then you know love is what's real because you're experiencing what love is every moment. Which means that the closing and opening and closing and opening and opening and closing of circuits, you're experiencing what love is every time we experience a magnetic moment. Because that moment is always one moment, which means that moment is eternity. So we're not ever experiencing the past and we're not ever experiencing the future because they don't exist. The only thing that does exist is what love is. So love is a present moment, moment after moment after moment. So you're experiencing being loved for eternity. Now you're on fire to create. Because the energy that you're using to create what you experience next is what love is, which is an eternal moment. Now you're always at home. Every time you take a breath of Kamaloati, Kirasha, Mua. Yeah. So I was thinking about something that she said. I can't remember whether it was today or yesterday that she posted or put up there. But what I will say is this. There is... You realize that there are certain events that are occurring that get reported on videos. But I've been doing this since I was a kid. Remember, I shared with folks about what it was like to be in third grade. Back when was that? 1958, something like that. And a third, I guess it was third grade elementary school in the Bay Area by San Francisco. And there was a magazine called Scholastic Magazine. And part of what the teacher was trying to share with the students is that we had a reason to be in fear, or if you will, to give us justification in our own mind's energy, to use our energy to give consent to experience war. So there has to be an enemy in our own mind. So they plant the seed that there is an enemy out there that wants to kill us. Now, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. The idea is that they're going to plant that in your head and give you a reason to believe, oh, so I guess I need to use my energy to protect myself, or I need to use my energy to support those that are building weapons to protect me. Oh, so this is a war machine. Yes. Okay, so what were they telling us? Remember the duck and cover drills? They were telling us that the Russians hated us, and they had all these ballistic missiles. Remember the movie War Games with the AI? So now you had the Russians that were apparently our enemy, and I'm going, well, I'm not at war with you. I love you. I'm in love and service to others. I'm experiencing what love is. Why would you seek to harm somebody, a spirit that is a spirit of love, which is spirit of fire, which is on fire forever to love you? Why would you ever want to go to war or hurt somebody that's loving you? That violates the first law of basic logic. Okay, that's called a signal alert. The idiot light just popped on when I was 7 years of age. Right around that age, third grade. So you know what I did? What do you think I did? I went to investigate. I'll bet you those Russian people over there, if I went and called a Russian family, like somewhere out there in Smolensk, or out there in the Donbass region, maybe you're on the other side of the Ural Mountains, and call up a typical family that lives out in Russia on a farm. Hey, listen, I'm over here, my name's so-and-so, and I'm in California, and I'm being told I have a reason to worry and want to use my energy to go to war against you. I've got to protect myself. We're going to build missiles and army tanks and everything else, getting ready to go to war against you. Are you trying to harm me when I'm trying to love you? No, we're not at war against you. We have the same problem over here. The same people that are pushing that war propaganda out of the Kremlin are the same people that are pushing that war propaganda out of Washington, D.C. Thank you. Now imagine you're a child and you figure that out. That's called a war of deception, because it's not what you look like. It's the communication, which means it's a psychological operation, which means it's a mental operation, right? Which means it's a psychopathic operation, which means it's an energy harvesting operation from one generation to the next, From one child being terrorized, spiritually tortured, and having their energy harvested, from one generation to the next, 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 from one cycle to the next, from one cycle to the next. And that's why that cycle has ended forever. Did you know that? Yeah. That's where we're at. Be good to yourselves. We love you all. Mooah.